Hi everyone, I'm going to do a screencast here to explain the examples for lesson 9.2. Make sure that you have the notes first, okay? Put them in your notebook or wherever you're doing that now that you're at home. But like I mentioned, now that we're going to be at home for a while, we're going to have to start to have some assessments, some quizzes and tests. It's important that you're going to be able to keep a nice notebook. You're going to be able to look back and use your notes. So it's going to be important on the test that you have them in a neat and organized place. Okay, so let's start the examples. Okay, this will be like problems just like on your homework. Okay, talking about two things today: theoretical and experimental probability. Okay, if you read the notes and you copied them down, you remember seeing that the theoretical probability is what should happen. In a perfect ideal world, what should happen? Okay, again, that means if I flip a coin 2 times, okay, there's 2 options. It can land on heads and it can land on tails. In theory, if I flip the coin 2 times, I should land on heads once and I should land on tails once. We know that doesn't always happen. Okay, when we actually do the experiment, the probability could be different. That's the experimental probability. Okay, so let's take a look at this. It says for number 1, the table shows the results of a fair number cube, which is just a standard 6-sided die. Okay, was rolled 40 times. Find the experimental probability of rolling a 4. So I look over at this table. Okay, I look over at the table. And it says the experiment. What actually happened? Well, how many times did I actually roll a 4? Okay, how many times did I actually roll a 4? It says that I rolled a 4 8 times. So I'm going to make a probability. 8 is my numerator. I rolled it 8 times. That's how many times it happened. Now my denominator is the total amount of times that I rolled the die. Well, if I read the bold, right here it says 40 times. So that would be 8 over 40. Now I need to figure out, does this reduce? Okay, I reduce a fraction. Yep, that simplifies down to 4/20, which again I can simplify if I cut it in half down to 2/10. And again, I can simplify it the whole way down to 1/5. I'm perfectly fine if you just leave this as a fraction, 1/5 as an answer. If you want to make it a decimal, that would be 0.2. Or that would be then what, 20%. For right now though, I'm good with the fraction. It has to be at least a fraction. Okay, now number 2, find the theoretical probability in theory of not rolling a 4. Okay, not rolling a 4. Well, I need to figure out how many times did I roll the cube? 40, right? I rolled it 40 times. So out of those 40, how many times did I not roll a 4? Well, if I rolled a 4 again 8 times, 40 minus 8 would be what? 32. I'm sorry. I am completely off track. Go back to that. I was doing the experimental. Okay, I was doing the experimental. In theory, again, theory is what should happen. So in theory, I have to think of how many numbers are on the number cube, the die. There are 6. Okay. Now, how many of those numbers are not a 4? Well, there's a 1, there's a 2, there's a 3, there's a 5, and there's a 6. So that would be 5, 6. So in theory, I would have 5 chances out of 6 to not roll a 4. That doesn't simplify down. That's just 5, 6. Now, number 3. Find the theoretical probability of rolling a 2. So again, I'm not worried about the experiment here in this table. Not worried about that. I'm not worried about the 40 times. Okay, I just want to know in theory the probability of rolling a 2. Well, again, how many numbers are on that number cube? Again, that would be what? 6 numbers. That's my denominator. The total number goes on the denominator. It's either how many times I did the experiment or how many options I have in the experiment. Then, how many 2s are on that die? Only 1. 1/6. That's my answer. It doesn't simplify down any further. Okay. Now, number 4. Find the experimental probability of not rolling a 6. Again, experiment means I go up to the top and use my denominator of 40 times. I actually performed the experiment 40 times. That's how many times I rolled the die. Now, how many of those did not give me a 6? Well, if I look at this table, I see that I rolled a 6 4 times. I rolled a 6 4 times. So how many times did I not? This is where I would subtract 40 minus 4 to get 36. So 36 out of 40 times, I did not roll a 6. That can definitely simplify. They're both an even number, so I can cut it in half. That cuts it down to 18/20. They're both even numbers again, so I'm going to cut it in half down to 9/10. So there's my answer, 9/10. Okay. Now, number 5, it gets a little bit trickier. Here it says, suppose the number cube was rolled 500 times. Not 40 times, like right here. Here's 40. I'm actually going to roll it 500. So now I need to, based on the results in the table, about how many times would it land on a 5? Okay. So to figure this out, anytime I have to predict, you're going to have to do this a few times in your homework. It's going to ask you to predict or figure out a different number of times than what we actually did here. Okay. So what you're going to do, please pay very close attention here. I need to figure out the probability, the experimental probability of landing on a 5. I'm going to do that first. So again, I go to the table. I landed on a 5 12 times. Okay. So I'm going to make that probability 12. Now, how many times did I roll the die? It tells me 40. Again, that's my denominator, the total. So here's the part to predict. I'm going to take my fraction. Okay, 12/40. Okay, 12/40. And I'm going to now multiply. I'm going to multiply that by what I'm predicting. In this case, 500. So I'm going to take 12/40. And I'm going to multiply it by 500. 12/40 times 500. If I do that, I get an answer of 150 times. Okay? So what that's saying is, based on these results, that 12 of the 40 landed on a 5, I could predict it's going to be about, I should put a squiggly instead of an equals, it's about 150 times. I take the probability, I'm going to write here the EP, that's the experimental probability, and multiply it by the number that you're predicting. Okay, let's go down to number 6. Now we have a new table, a pizza. The table on the right shows the results of a survey about favorite pizza toppings. Okay, number 6. What is the probability that a person's favorite pizza topping is pepperoni? Okay, well, I go over here again and I see that how many chose pepperoni? Well, 45 chose pepperoni. That's my numerator. So 45 people chose pepperoni. Okay, now I need to figure out, well, what's my total number of people? At the top, it told me how many, 40 times. It doesn't tell me in this bold how many people were surveyed. So how do I figure that out? Well, we have to add them up. So I'm going to add 45 plus 25 plus 15 plus 5 plus 10. And I'm going to figure that out. That's 100 people. Now, can that be simplified? Yes. Okay. 45 and 100 can both be divisible by 5. So I'm going to take 45, divide that by 5 to get 9. And then I'm going to take 100 and divide that by 5. And that's going to give me 20. That gives me an answer of 9/20. That cannot be simplified anymore. Okay. Now for number 7, it says out of 280 people, how many would you expect to have pepperoni? This is just like number 5. I need to predict. So how am I going to predict? Well, it says I'm going to take the experimental probability. Well, I just found that. I just found in number 6 the experimental probability is 9/20. So I'm going to write that down. 9/20. Now I'm going to multiply that. I'm going to multiply it by how many? Well, it tells me I'm going to multiply that now by 280. I'm going to multiply that by 280. Okay, so now I'm going to do that. I'm going to take 9/20, which is really 0.45, and I'm going to multiply that by 280, and I'm going to get an answer of about, that's why the squiggly's there, about 126 people. About 126 people. Okay. Now the last one. What is the probability that a person's favorite pizza topping is pepperoni or sausage? So it could be either. So now I'm going to add. Well, how many chose pepperoni? That would be 45. How many chose sausage? That would be 25. That would give me a grand total for a numerator of 70 people. Now, what's my denominator? How many people did we survey? Well, if I go back to number 6, 100 people. 100 people. Now I just simplify that down. You're going to get, they both can be divisible by 10. You're going to get a final answer of 7/10. Okay, 7/10. Please, as you're going over the homework, if you're having trouble with one, come back to the screencast and look. I am going over each type of problem that you will see on the homework. So if you get stuck, please come back and look at the example and see what I did. Listen to what I did, and hopefully that helps. If you still have questions, message me just like you've been doing, and I'll see if I can help you out. And then again, on Friday, I'm going to be around at 11:30. Okay, that's the goal unless you hear otherwise. If you have any questions, okay? You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.